corner, before you even click on chemistry, but even if you do click on chemistry, on the right-hand side, you'll see where it says YouTube videos. Click there, and this will be there. So once again, the short version of this is tonight, or for this lab report, objective, materials, data, and calculations are already done. You might need to redo the procedure depending upon whether or not yours is legible. But what the heck? 1 page of error analysis. The board is haunted. And I'm going to go through that completely. I'm just reviewing for everybody else, okay, for when you go to this. So remember, nothing new there. Just do this if your procedure is messed up. Now let's talk about error analysis. Error analysis is comprised of 2 different sections. The first is called quantitative. That is so weird. It looks like fireworks. What? Oh, X means no credit. So the first is quantitative. The second is I am gonna go nuts. Qualitative. You're enjoying this too much. Stop that. All right. Quantitative means what? Yeah, quantity relates to numbers. This is about numbers, all right? And what you're going to do is state your results. Okay, now state your results means the specific heat is this value. And then you can say brass. Right? That's it. I don't need if you actually just save this for qualitative, that's fine. You can just state your specific heats. Did anybody here get 8 different specific heats? Okay, one group got 8. Did anybody get less than 2? How did you get less than 2?
Wait, you mean 2 different blocks? Or?
No, I mean literally 2 specific heats, which would have meant 1 block, 2 calorimeters. Okay, good. So everybody here is going to state at least 2 specific heats, yes? Okay? If you're stating, for example, if you did the 8, you're going to state 2 at a time, right? State the 2 for aluminum, the 2 for brass, the 2 for copper, the 2 for steel. Put them kind of together so that it's easier to see that they're next to each other. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Percent error. And then the percent error is going to be determined by using these values. Copper is there, brass is there, aluminum is there, and steel is there. Okay? So steel is 0.45 joules per gram Celsius degree, which is the dark block. Aluminum was the light block. That is 0.910 joules per gram Celsius degree. The yellow block was brass. That's 0.38 joules per gram Celsius degree. And the reddish block, the one that looks like a penny, is 0.39 joules per gram Celsius degree. Any questions? Yeah.
Wait, what is the cube? The reddish cube. What substance was that?
It's copper.
Alright.
That's why it looks like a penny. Any questions? Okay, so you can either write these down now, or you can consult this YouTube video later this evening. I'm recording everything as we speak. Well, okay, questions about those 4? All right, so we're going to move back. We're going to go back to here. All right, so in your quantitative analysis, what am I expecting to see?
Numbers.
Yeah, numbers. And those numbers are going to tell me 2 things. What are they?
Specific heat
You're going to tell me your specific heat,
and percentage error.
and you're going to tell me a percent error 4 each. Yeah, 4 blocks. You know, there are 4 for each mother, father, cocker spaniel. For each specific heat.
I know you're recording that.
Yeah,
Is it Cocker Spaniel?
it's from. There's this movie from the '80s called Johnny Dangerously, and in that movie, and yes, this is recording because I can't pause. In that movie, there's a guy who's like a foreigner, and it's like in the like roaring 20s, you know, in like Chicago or something, and there's like bootleggers who like, you know, went against the prohibition to sell alcohol and stuff like that. So they're gangsters, or the Czech Republic or whatever, right? So he doesn't speak English very well. So when he hears people swear, he doesn't hear what they're saying. He hears what he thinks they're saying. So he says like mother, father, you know, like, you know, like cocker spaniel. What is a cocker spaniel? I think you can kind of know what that one is. Farging ice hole. Yeah. So yeah. So those are my go-to frustration relievers. All right. Anyways, now that your parents can all yell at me for saying farging ice hole in school.
What's wrong with that?
Okay. So are we clear on what? So for example, Seth's group is going to have 8 of these percent errors. Right? You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Oh, this takes like 10 seconds. Because let's review, how do you calculate percent error? Percent error is O minus A, if you can write it, over A times 100%. Okay, let's do a quick example. Ivy, how much do I weigh?
A lot.
I'm sorry? 305 pounds. Okay, so that is her observation, right? That she's saying that's her data point. Okay, the actual value of my weight is 215. Yeah. So 215. Okay, so now let's use these two in this equation. Calculate that now, please. Olive, did you get a number?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't. Basically, like numbers used the quantitative
Oh yeah, the final.
What'd you get, Olive?
Then the mass.
Sorry? 44%?
Oh yeah, the mass.
41 point.
Water.
Shh, please, I can't even hear Olive. She's like 20 feet away. Go ahead. 41.8. So she got 41.8% error. Right? And you can do this kind of like in your head, because what's the difference between the two? 90, right? And then 90 is slightly less than half of this, right? Because half of this would be like 107. So then that's why it's 40%. 40%. Yeah.
So the lower the percent, the better.
Yes, right? If, for example, if your doctor was giving you a dose of medication, right? Would you want him to have a 41% error on the amount of medicine he gave you? Some of you are like, it depends. If that medicine induced explosive diarrhea. Oh, I gotta go. All right, so we have a percentage error here of 41.8%. And so, what should my words say about that error?
I was wrong. Wait.
Yeah, I was wrong. Exactly, yeah. Right? Do you see what I'm saying there? Those words, like if we have error, then we should, what you're going to do is you're going to use the numbers from the quantitative. I really wish I knew why that was exploding like that. Do you understand what I say when I mean use the numbers from the quantitative?
Yeah.
For example, your percent error. So you are literally going to say, the first sentence is, our percent, I suck. No, you're going to say, our percent error, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to tell the reader how far off you were or how far on you were, right? So you're going to use the percent from this. Then you're going to say, what went, wrong, or, now this is the important part, what went right. See, so like for example, Ivy might say, like my percent error on guessing his weight was 42%. And then she's going to say, why did she guess such a ridiculously large number? And that's because I think McClure is a big fat turd, so I guess 300 pounds, right? I mean, whatever, right?
Your words, not mine.
300, really? That's like two people stuck together. Is that insulting?
I am one
There's 1.5 of us. So, okay. Anyways, my point being, if I have somehow obtusely insulted you, I apologize. Okay. Anyways, so after you write what went wrong or what went right, then you write how would you improve? We would do more trials to make sure, because we basically only got one trial for each, so I would run each trial like 10 times, right? To make sure that my data is
What if you have 8?
Sorry?
What if you have 8 already?
Oh, no, I mean, you have 8 individuals, right?
Yeah.
But you see, like, what if one of those is off? How do you know?
They just test it again.
Exactly, right? So even if you had 8 and they all looked, say I would do it again, I would run 10 trials on each type in each calorimeter so that I could be sure that the numbers that I get are more indicative of the equipment. Yes?
We have to find the specific heat of all 4 cubes.
No, you have to find the specific heat of whatever you did. So for example, they are going to have 8, so they have 2 specific heats for all 4 cubes.
Okay.
However, your group might only have 2 for 1 cube.
Yeah,
Yeah, nobody can have less than 2. If you have less than 2, you better come back in and do some extra work.
Wait, if
Yeah, everyone here should have 2 specific heats. One in the regular calorimeter, one in the styrofoam cup calorimeter. Because if you, I said that was the minimum. So if you don't have that, you're going to get a 0. Okay, any other questions? So do you understand what it is I'm asking you to do?
yeah.
Yeah.
On one sheet of paper,
That's by the result, right?
yeah, on one sheet of paper, some of you may or may not have to do your procedure. Okay, I don't know who has to do that or whatever. Then, under quantitative error analysis, you're going to declare specific heat 1 was this, specific heat 2 was this. And if specific heat 3 was like specific heat 1, then put it under there. Maybe, like whatever. Maybe even make like a table. If you don't know how to make a table, that's fine. Specific heat 4 is there. And then under qualitative, you're going to have a bunch of words. Yeah.
Where would we put the? Do we have to put the data that isn't on the that isn't our final answer?
The what that
The
is?
data that isn't our final answer.
Oh, no. The data from the lab should be behind this. So this paper right here is your plus any extras that you use. Do you get what I mean when I say that? So your original lab paper that I gave you and any extra papers, I don't know if, this will actually use this much, but maybe this is her whole thing. And then on the top is her typed out new sheet. And everything is stapled together so that I can look through and see everything. Does this make sense? Okay, questions?
So it has to be typed?
Yes, this top page, this must be typed. Type. What's that?
My keyboard just broke yesterday.
Sorry, sucks to be you. Any other questions? No, I'm just kidding. Hey, much love for Oscar. We go way back. If you do have computer problems, remember that the library has computers for you to use. Also, if you need to come in early tomorrow, come in early Friday morning, in my room, I can let you use a computer to type it up if you need. If you have problems, there are ways to solve them, but not unless you talk to me. So if you know there's a problem, talk to me now. Do not talk to me on Friday. That is too late. Yes, individually. I hated group work in high school. I hated it. Do you know why? Yeah, because I don't like people. I'm big and fat and I don't like people. That's why I chose this job. No, because I was always the one who was the caring one, yeah. Like I wanted to get this done and I wanted an A. So then the turds would always be in my group and then I have to carry them along.
What if it's not like that?
It's always like that. I mean, maybe not in your specific group, but in somebody's group, it's like that. What's that?
Someone raise your hand. Anyone got it, sir?
What group projects do you hate? How much I hate other people. Nice. Okay, anyways, my point being, so all of my group work requires everybody to do their own work, right? You think as a group, but you produce as your own. Now, here's something that we need to be careful about. What part of this is going to be identical to another group?
Procedure.
That is going to be identical to another group. Yes? What else?
Data. Quantity.
Probably these numbers are going to be the same. But this table, right? You need to set it up. This, you need to type it out. This better be absolutely like individual. Because if I detect that someone copied someone, I don't care who copied who. You're both getting zeros. And this is 30 lab points. 30 lab points is 90 homework points. Okay, so that will probably cost you at least half a grade at the semester. Okay, so I encourage you to share your information. Work collaboratively.
No.
Build each other up in education and knowledge, but then do your own freaking typing. Okay, and write this up yourself. Yes, please. It's pretty obvious when somebody copies. Yeah, I've never had a case where I was like, wow, these people copied and they actually didn't. Because I had one case where, oh my gosh, this kid swore to God and on any holy book he could find that he did not copy. And I asked him, are you sure? Yeah, I swear to God I didn't copy all this stuff. I'm like, look, I will give you one last chance. If you continue to lie, look, no, I'm going to kick you out of my class. Because I don't need a bold-faced liar. And you're going to get an F. And so, like, he's staring at me, trying to decide. I can see the wheels spinning. And he's like, okay, fine. And this was, you gotta understand, this was like half an hour.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And the whole time he was doing this, I was holding his paper like this in front of him. I'm like, and then I was holding the other paper like this. They're identical. I'm like, you didn't cheat. You didn't cheat. Sure. Okay. So this was his friend's paper, and this was his paper, right? His friend's name was still at the top of the paper. He printed out his friend's lab report and didn't cross out the other guy's name. And then stood there for half an hour swearing to God and his mother and his dead aunt and all this other stuff that he did not copy.
Did he say I ran
Oh no, I said. So, I'm not going to have that discussion with you. I'm telling you now. If it looks like you cheated, and you're going to get a 0.
If you actually did it.
Then it sucks to be you. Yes.
Why is it?
Did that student fail just or?
He failed that lab report, which cost him, I think he got like a C. So, yeah. Okay, any other questions? Yeah.
So,
Oh, I'm sorry. 1 second. I apologize. My point was, in 17 years, I've never had it happen where two people didn't cheat, but they were close. I've never had that happen. Where it's like, wow, these really look like they cheated, but they honestly didn't. It's never been that case.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, so I've never had that.
That's true, Oscar.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yes.
since our group only has like one data, so we like just copy the data.
You write it on all labs in the future, you have to write your own data. All right. What'll happen when you go to college is when you take a lab, you get like this. It looks just like this, except every 3 pages there's carbon. Well, it's not carbon, but you know, like you write on it, and then so these 3 pages are sometimes 2. These 2 pages are copies. Then when you're done with your lab, you have to have it signed by the TA, and your TA tears out this one and they keep it.
Oh, it's like a receipt.
Yeah, it's like a receipt. And they know exactly what data you got during the lab. And that's so you can't matters. Like if you get bad numbers, you're screwed. Here, we're trying to learn. So if you get bad numbers, as long as you know why you got bad numbers, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine with it. Okay, now, back. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, back here.
I was basically gonna say the same thing. So people in the same groups are gonna have the same procedures and quantitative.
Your own stuff. You type your own, etc. I mean, there are like literally, like I think 100,000 different typefaces, right? There are like 10 different word processing programs that you could be using on several different computers from several different printers. So if 2 of them are perfect, any other questions at all? Okay, does everybody have a reasonable picture of what I'm asking for? So all I'm asking you to do between now and Friday is 1 page. That's it. In fact, let's be honest, it's like 1 paragraph and a couple of columns of data, of calculations, okay?
We're not doing any of these.
No, can you see on the back there? All of your original papers need to go on the back.
Okay.
In fact, you always have to put everything on there. I don't even care if you said, I don't know, whatever, like, you're a poopy face. You know, it doesn't, whatever, it doesn't matter. Every paper has to go there that you kept records. All right.